Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to continue on with our read-along of Erha. Let's jump right in. Chapter 122, Shizun's Reflection. Here, Mo Shang, let me introduce you. This is Song Chu Tong, a little shumei from my sect. In the end, Moran forced himself to sit down at the table and bear with Nan Gongsi's enthusiastic introductions. Song Chu Tong, he knew well how many moles there were on her back, and just where the birthmarks were on her thighs, as if he needed Nan Gongsi to introduce. But he schooled his expression and nodded with much restraint. Miss Song. This is Chu Zhongshi's disciple, Mo Wei Yu of Sisheng Peak. You likely saw him back at Butterfly Town, but there were a lot of people there, so you probably don't remember. Song Chu Tong smiled and stood to offer a deferential obeisance, saying, Chu Tong is pleased to meet Mo Xianjun. ... Moran remained sitting, leveling an unfathomable gaze at her for quite a while before finally saying briskly, likewise. Truth be told, Moran was beyond disgusted with this wife of his from the past life. And, more than that, this disgust wasn't even something that had emerged only after his rebirth, but had in fact already permeated irreversibly into his very bones in the past life. The last couple of times he'd seen her, it had always been from a distance, so he'd only had to deal with a bearable amount of repulsion before, unlike today. She was a fragile woman, delicate and soft-spoken in all that she did. She was like an unripe fruit upon the branch in early autumn, hidden beneath the luxuriant leaves, with a muted scent less fragrant than that of the surrounding blossoms, and an understated color not overly loud. But it was very likable, a slim yet full figure that held endless gentleness and tender young love, ready to yield up its sweetly sour juice to the smallest bite. Only after biting deep to the core could the worm be discovered, dead and rotting within, pungent and festering, the fruit spotted with mold. But then again, compared to himself, it wasn't like the Song Chu Tong of the last lifetime had really done anything too abhorrent. All she had done was betray Rufeng's sect, which had saved her life. All she had done was offer up Ye Wangxi to save herself when Moran was massacring the city. All she had done was doll herself up, even as Lin Yi was being turned into mountains of corpses and oceans of blood, overjoyed that she had garnered Moran's favor, and eager to serve her new master. All she had done was vilify Ye Wangxi after the massacre was over in order to show her sincerity, weeping pitifully right in front of Ye Wangxi's dead body that could never again speak, about how cruel he had been to her, how he had tormented her every day, how miserable her life would have been if Moran hadn't come. And Moran pondered in silence. What else had she done? Nan Gongsi was an impatient person. A couple of the dishes were taking a while to come out, so he went to prod them along. And so, the husband and wife of a previous lifetime were left alone in the room. Mo Gongzi, a toast, if you will. She filled his cup with a smile, a bit of forearm peeking out from her flowing sleeves in the process, revealing a vibrant dot of cinnabar on her wrist. Moran lifted his hand and grabbed her wrist for no discernible reason. She made a surprised sound and lifted her eyes to look at him, fright apparent in those delicate dew-laden eyes. Mo Gongzi, what are you... Moran stared at her face for a while before dropping his gaze to her fair, slender hands. You have nice hands, he said quietly after a long pause, expression cool and distant. Does Miss Song know how to play chess? A little bit. Hands this nice must be quite adept at chess, he continued coldly. Outside came the sound of Nan Gongsi's footsteps, and his wolf began barking by the door. Excuse me. Moran let go of Song Chu Tong's slender wrist, then carefully wiped his hand off with a handkerchief. Outside, the rays of the setting sun were a brilliant splash of color upon the dusky sky. Inside, a spread of sumptuous feast for a pleasant spring eve. Moran wore his usual expression, as if nothing had happened at all. Song Chu Tong had been scorned for no apparent reason, but she had always been good at enduring, even getting up during the meal to refill Moran's cup once. Not wanting to drink the wine she poured, he left the cup untouched for the remainder of the meal. Nan Gongsi spoke. Mo Shang, the spiritual mountain competition is coming up soon. You're Chu Zhongshi's disciple. Make sure you don't embarrass him. You ready? I'm not going. Surely you're joking. I'm serious, Moran said with a laugh. My cousin's got it covered. Every sect's gonna be there. I don't feel like crowding around with everybody. Nangongzi didn't seem to believe him still, piercing brown eyes narrowing at him like those of an eagle. But Moran's eyes were open and unreserved as he returned his gaze. The eagle stared at the rock for a while, until it was satisfied that it really was only a rock, not hiding a cunning rabbit or a sly serpent. He leaned back into his chair, twirling his chopsticks between his fingers, and suddenly grinned. Interesting. So I won't be seeing you at the Spiritual Mountain competition then? You will not. Nangongzi put a hand to his forehead and snorted out a laugh. Chu Zhongshi's disciple must really be something to snub such a prestigious competition. ... Moran thought to himself, bloody hell, how was he supposed to explain this? It wasn't like he could tell Nangongzi that, oh no, that's not it. He was actually a 30-something-old ghost that had come back to life. Here, let Tashi and June play with all these little brats that are still wet behind the ears, while a bunch of sect leaders that had either been killed or beaten up by him in the past sat around in a circle around them in those high platforms, grading his performance with their little scorecards. Ugh, what a joke. Clearing his throat, he said, It's not that I think it's beneath me or anything, more like I'm no good with orthodox cultivation techniques, and I don't want to risk embarrassing Shizun with my shallow learnings if I were to go. Someone skilled like Nangongzi is much more suited to the competition, so please spare me your teasing. If a guileless little birdie like Shuemeng had heard that, he probably would have been overjoyed, like Moran had petted the right spot. But Nangongzi hailed from Rufeng sect and its complicated internal politics, and had lost his mother since young to boot. His life had been far less simple, and so he only smiled a little at Moran's praise and did not let it get to his head. He took several big gulps of wine, the jut of his throat bobbing, before wiping his mouth with his sleeve and saying, Since Mo Gongzi won't be participating, who do you think is going to win this round, from a bystander's clear perspective? ... You sure did ask the right effing person, Moran thought. Who would know better than him just who was going to win? Other than that fake Go-Chen, who was in all likelihood also a reborn person, he was the only one in the world who knew just how the Spiritual Mountain competition was going to play out. The winner was... Nangongzi. The pearl curtain of the private room was abruptly swept to the side. Oh, Nangongzi. The pearl curtain of the private room was abruptly swept to the side. A face could be seen in the swaying light that followed, half hidden in the shadows. Before either of the men in the room could even react, Song Chu-tong had already leapt to her feet as if stung, a pitiful-looking panic on her face as she lowered her head and said in an apologetic tone, Yeah, Gongzi. The newcomer stood tall and straight, dressed in black robes trimmed with muted gold and with bracers fastened around the wrists, making for a lean, lithe figure. 3 parts elegant and 7 parts handsome. Who else could it be but Ye Wangxi? I wasn't calling you. Ye Wangxi pushed aside the pearl curtain and stepped into the room without so much as sparing her a glance. His eyes remained fixed on one person the whole time, seemingly cold, but with a subtle flicker of something else. Nangongzi, I was calling you. Look up if you can hear me. Nangongzi did not look up, instead speaking to Song Chu-tong. What are you doing standing? Sit down. That's right, Nangongzi. My status is low. I should stand. Nangongzi flew abruptly into a rage, yelling, Sit down! Song Chu-tong flinched, holding onto the edge of the table and hesitating. Ye Wangxi didn't want to stall on this, and so said in a cold voice, Listen to him. Thank you, Ye Gongzi. Ignoring Song Chu-tong, Ye Wangxi said, Nangongzi, just how long do you plan to drag out this farce for? The sect leader is so incensed he's about to go mad. Get up and go back with me. That suits me just fine. I'll just take him for a madman, and he can take me for dead. There's nothing to talk about even if I do go back. I will not set half a foot into Rufeng's sect so long as he doesn't withdraw the order. Nangongzi spoke, clearly and with a pause between each letter. Ye Gongzi, kindly see yourself out. You... Ye Wangxi's hands tightened into fists, his entire body trembling minutely. Watching from the side, Moran felt like he might kick the table over, grab Nangongzi, and bodily drag him off at any moment. But Ye Wangxi was a gentleman after all, and managed to forcibly suppress the raging flames of his anger. Nangongzi. When he spoke after a long moment of silence, it was in a hoarse, exhausted voice that was at odds with his tall and straight appearance. Do you really have to go this far? So what if I do? Ye Wangxi closed his eyes and let out an imperceptible sigh before slowly opening them again. Standing in front of the table, he finally turned to shoot a glance toward Moran. In the same way that a family's dirty laundry is not to be aired out in public, a sect's internal matters are likewise kept from outsiders. Tactfully, Moran got up and bowed toward Ye Wangxi, saying, "Actually, I just remembered that I have an appointment to go pick up some clothes at the clothing store. I really shouldn't keep the shopkeeper waiting, so I'll head off first." Ye Wangxi nodded toward him. "Many thanks, Mo Gongzi." "Not at all. Take your time chatting." Moran happened to glance at Ye Wangxi as he walked past. Ye Wangxi stood tall and straight like a sturdy pine tree, holding himself with poise as he always did. But up close, Moran could see a faint redness at the corners of his eyes, like he had been crying just before coming here. "I knew it. Ye Wangxi likes non-gongzi, right?" Moran suddenly felt that Ye Wangxi's silent forbearance was a bit like Chua Ning's. Moved by a sudden impulse, he couldn't help turning to address Non-Gongzi. "Non-Gongzi, I may not know what's happening between you and Ye Gongzi, but I do know that he's always been genuinely good to you. So if you're willing, please do have an open chat with him. Don't hold back the things you should say." But Non-Gongzi had little appreciation for his advice, and, in the heat of the moment, even disregarded the finer points of politeness to say in a cold voice, "Mind your own business." "This short-lived punk!" Moran left. He hadn't even gotten down the stairs when he heard Non-Gongzi's furious bellowing from the room as the wolf-like young man tore into Ye Wangxi's soul with sharp fangs, demanding, "Ye Wangxi, what sorcery did you use on my father to make him think more highly of you than he does me? Go back with you? What the F for? All my life, when I have ever been given a choice in anything. Huh? Tell me, Ye Wangxi, just what exactly do you take me for?" There came the crash of tables and chairs toppling over, and the smashing sounds of plates and cups falling to the floor. The maidservants in the corridor were each and all startled by the noise, and a couple of the other guests peeked out from their own rooms. "What's going on? Ayo, what a temper! Hope they don't smash the place!" Moran pressed his lips together, turning to look over his shoulder toward the end of the corridor again. He heard Ye Wangxi's voice, dry and lifeless like a withered leaf in autumn. "Non-Gongzi, if it's my presence back home that's upsetting you, then I'll leave, and you'll never have to see me again. ... So go back," Ye Wangxi said. "I'm begging you." If he hadn't heard it with his own ears, Moran never would have believed that such an upright person as Ye Wangxi would ever say something so weak as begging. His impression of Ye Wangxi was that of an immovable person of integrity, an invincible force on the battlefield. It was far easier for Moran to picture him bleeding than crying, to envision him dying than kneeling. But on this very day, in this very restaurant, with Song Chu Tong there to watch, he said to someone, "I'm begging you." Moran closed his eyes. In the span of a person's life, just how many things does he never find out? No one stood naked in front of others. Everyone hid their bodies under clothes, their feelings behind words and expressions. Everyone wrapped themselves up in layers upon layers, with only their heads and necks visible like a flowering branch peeking out, offering the world only a painted face with an unambiguous expression, each playing their own role, for life was but a play, the roles definite and clear-cut. Sheng, Dan, Jing, and Chou. If someone had always played the Sheng role, how could they simply accept a change of costume and a repaint of makeup to play the Dan role instead? But in the dead of night, when the cymbals ceased and the lute faded, when everyone washed off the thick layer of makeup, and as the colorful wash water carried away the distinctly painted faces they'd worn during the day, revealing the unfamiliar features beneath, it would turn out that the Hua Dan was actually a gallant young man, and the Wu Sheng had a pair of tender, infatuated eyes. Moran returned to the small room he was staying in for the time being, deep in thought. He had lived 2 lifetimes, but just how much did he really understand people? And what of himself? Just one Chua Ning was already enough to make his heart grow and then die, only to revive again. Chua Ning. His thoughts drifted to the way Non-Gongzi had mistaken him for Chua Ning earlier today. He thought it funny. How did such a mix-up even happen? But as he washed up in front of the copper mirror, he suddenly found that the person reflected therein had his hair done up in a high ponytail and wore a simple white cultivator robe. He had put his hair up in the ponytail on an offhanded whim this morning. As for the robe, it was because his old clothes had felt a little tight a couple of days ago. So he'd gone to the store to pick out a new set, and the white robe had caught his eye while walking through the store, so he bought it and put it on without really thinking about it, without considering why the robe had been pleasing to his eyes. Only now, looking into the mirror, did he suddenly realize the reason why. It was because this white robe was so similar to the one that Chuaning had once worn. The mirror was a dull yellow. The past life was like a dream. Looking at the person in the mirror, Moran felt like he was looking at a fragment of Chuaning, a delirium of him, through this muddy color, muted as if in a dream. The water that he had washed his face with and not yet wiped dry streamed along the gradually maturing lines of his jaw and dripped down his chin. Standing there in front of the mirror, he vaguely realized that, just like how his Holy Night Guardian was clumsily trying to imitate Chuaning's Holy Night Guardian, he himself was also clumsily trying to imitate his Shizun. Unconsciously, Moran had been looking for Chuaning's shadow in the world. Unable to find him, he had slowly instead become him. Time marched on, and I, due to remorse, or perhaps something else, I couldn't see you, but always I thought about what you would do if you were here, what would make you smile, what would make you mad. I thought about you before doing anything, try to make you proud in everything that I did. I thought, if you were here and I did this, would you nod? Would you be willing to praise me a little, say I did okay? Day after day I thought about this, until it had permeated into my very bones, become second nature. That's why, later on, I didn't even realize that as the days passed by, I had grown into the you in my heart. Aww. Chapter 122 done. Okay, so to recap that chapter, Moran decides that it would be impolite for him to leave and excuse himself, so he decides to dine with Nan Gongsi and Song Chu-tong, and he's kind of suspicious of Song Chu-tong. He's like, are you good at chess? Mayhaps you know the Zhenlao chess formation? Are you the fake Go Chen that's been following me since my last rebirth? But I don't think it's Song Chu-tong. She's just kind of there. Yeah, so he's just really awkward. He doesn't want to talk to her. He doesn't want to look at her. Nan Gongsi asks Moran if he's going to go to the Spiritual Mountain competition. Moran's like, that ain't for me. And it's just kind of awkward. But then suddenly, Ye Wangxi crashes the party looking for Nan Gongsi, and then Nan Gongsi kicks up a whole fuss. And even Moran feels pitiful for Ye Wangxi. He knows that Ye Wangxi genuinely cares about Nan Gongsi, and Nan Gongsi is just being really stubborn. I wonder what went down between them. Why does Nan Gongsi hate Ye Wangxi so much? Because as we can tell, Ye Wangxi seems to really care about Nan Gongsi. And I believe Ye Wangxi is probably really jealous of Song Chu-tong, which is why Song Chu-tong is wary and scared of Ye Wangxi. As she should. As she should. Who does she think she is? Huh? Ye Wangxi saw Nan Gongsi first. Get in line, girly. Anyway, even Moran felt like he had to step in and try to help Ye Wangxi out. He's like, dude, you know, Ye Wangxi's being really genuine here. Why don't you just, like, give him a chance to talk to him? And Nan Gongsi's like, it's none of your business. Don't butt into my sex business. And so Moran's like, okay, I'm out. Bye. And so, yeah, that was really awkward for him. It was really awkward to read as well, and I just feel really bad for Ye Wangxi, and I hope that him and Nan Gongsi make up soon. But yeah, and then Moran goes home, and then he realizes that he has been starting to imitate Chuaning's mannerisms, and I think that's because he really misses Chuaning. He really misses his Shizun. He tied up his hair like Chuaning, he wore white cultivator robes like Chuaning, he's starting to even make the same creations like Chuaning. He finally realized that he's been missing his Shizun more than he thought. Okay, let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter 123. Shizun visits my dream, for he knows I think of him often. Ooh, okay. Zhao Dao Zhang, Li Dao Zhang, have you both seen the rankings yet? The black horse that came out of the Spiritual Mountain competition this time is really something. Inside Pearl Tea House, a couple of wandering cultivators were having an excited discussion over a platter of peanuts and a pot of hot tea, the topic of discussion being the current Jianghu news that's even hotter than the tea. Of course I have. No one expected the winner to be Shizun Peak, that sect from the lower cultivation realm. All the old fogies from the upper cultivation realm have got their knickers in a twist now, especially Rufeng's sect. Ayo, their ancestors are turning in their graves. What was the winner's name again? Shui Feng Huang Phoenix? Oh, did Shui Meng win? Oh, good for him. Ah? Ha ha ha! Shui Feng Huang? Oh, Zhao, please, you're gonna make me burst a lung laughing. Son of the Phoenix is his nickname. His surname is Shui, given name Meng, courtesy named Ziming, and his old man is Shui Zhenyang. Like father, like son, this Shui Ziming is quite impressively scaled. There was a tall man in a cape sitting by the fireplace, minding his own business, drinking butter tea. Overhearing their conversation, the cup by the man's lips stilled and remained there as he uttered a quiet, They seriously weren't kidding when they called him Son of the Phoenix. Every other little young master in there had a holy weapon, but he shows up with just a curved blade and cuts off all their escape routes? Freaking incredible! Did you forget whom his master is? It's only natural that Yu Heng of the Night Sky's disciple doesn't play games. To be honest though, I think Shui Ziming's win was a near thing. Surely you've heard that Shui Ziming and Nan Gongsi were evenly matched in the doubles. If not for that girlie on his team dragging him down, could have gone either way if you ask me. At these words, the man who had been listening intently finally set down the cup of tea he had been holding up without drinking. He turned his head, eyes clear as autumn waters, yet intense as lightning. Strikingly good looks, to be sure. He flashed a smile at the chatting cultivators and joined their conversation. Excuse me, I've been cultivating in the mountains these last couple of days. It's hard to even tell what day it is up there, so I ended up missing the spiritual mountain competition. I happened to overhear from your conversation that Shui Meng won first place. I was wondering if you would mind telling me some more. Those cultivators were only too eager to have an audience, promptly and enthusiastically gesturing Moran over and making room for him to sit with them. And Moran knew his manners too. He was much more mature now than when he had first left to travel. He had the lady boss of the tea house refill 6 teapots with Lingshan rain and ordered candied jujubes, tart kernels, sweet liquor cherries, and snake gale melon seeds to share with everyone before smiling and saying, Shui Ziming is the darling of the heavens, so for him to take first even without a holy weapon isn't much of a surprise. But I heard mention that Nan Gongsi of Rufeng's sect had a lady on his team in the doubles. Being a bunch of guys, they were more than happy to talk about ladies, even if the lady wasn't theirs. That he did. Truly a case of the hero's ambition sunk in the beauty's bosom. Else, with Nan Gongsi's skills, who knows if Shui Ziming would be able to get the upper hand. I see. Interesting. That wasn't what happened in the last lifetime, when Ye Wangxi and Nan Gongsi had jointly won first place. Moran originally thought that it was due to that little phoenix Shui Meng being spurred by Chuaning's death to really apply himself and soar to success, but it seemed that Shui Meng's side of things wasn't the only variable involved here. Who might this lady be? The last was named Song, something Tong. Don't remember exactly. Sure was pretty though. She's got the Rufeng sect's little young master wrapped around her pinky, by the looks of it. Pretty's an understatement. Astoundingly beautiful is more like it. If I were Nan Gongsi, I'd give up first place at Spiritual Mountain just to make that pretty thing happy too. Moran. ... Uh-oh, what happened? Why did Song Chu Tong replace Yao Wangxi? This wasn't supposed to happen. What the heck? She just joined the sect and she's already replacing Yao Wangxi. I don't like this. I don't like this. Moran doesn't like this. I bet everyone doesn't like this. I am so mad right now. Nan Gongsi is a dumbass, as we all know. Yao Wangxi is really pitiful. And Song Chu Tong is real sus. You know what? I take back what I said last chapter. I wouldn't be surprised if she's somehow related to the fake Go Chen, if she might be an accomplice or something. I'm real sus of her right now. She's going in and doing things and changing the past. In the past life, I don't think she saddled up to Nan Gongsi. So what's she doing now, being all buddy-buddy with Nan Gongsi? I don't like where this is going. I feel like Moran can tell that this is sus as well. As he thought, the Spiritual Mountain competition included 3 events: Singles, doubles, and battle royale, with the scores being averaged across the three to determine the ultimate winner. In the last lifetime, Xuemeng and Shinmei had faced off against Nan Gongsi and Ye Wangxi in the doubles event. Ye Wangxi had gone on to become the second strongest person in the world, outdone only by Chuaning, so the outcome of that match need not be said. Heaven knows what went wrong in this lifetime for Nan Gongsi to bring that hindrance Song Chutong along instead of teaming up with Ye Wangxi. Maran set down his cup of tea and rubbed his temple. What the hell had that guy been thinking? Yeah, I don't think Song Chutong is even a fighter. Why would he have brought her into the competition? Ugh, woman, even that wild horse Nan Gongsi got tamed in no time. One of them lamented thus, and the others broke into hoots of laughter. Maran couldn't help asking, what about Ye Wangxi? Who? Maran repeated, Ye Wangxi! The lack of recognition on their faces left a bad taste in Maran's mouth. This person was a war god who'd given Maran no end of troubles in the last lifetime. How could you possibly not know of him? I can't believe Ye Wangxi got replaced so easily. Who is this Song Chutong? I bet she has a backer. You know, it can't be that easy for her to just get into Rufeng Sect like that and replace Ye Wangxi, who has been pretty well known in Rufeng Sect for a while now, you know? What happened? How did Nan Gongsi end up choosing her to pair up with him in the competition? Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I'm heated right now because I feel so bad for Ye Wangxi right now. He's just trying his best. Okay. So he gestured while explaining. The other Gongsi from Rufeng Sect. Long legs, tall, good temper, doesn't talk much, uses a sword and... Looking at all their blank expressions, Maran sighed and finished the description, despite already having guessed the outcome. And a bow! Don't know him. Never heard of this person. Bro, where'd you hear about this guy from? Rufeng Sect sent 16 disciples to the spiritual mountain competition. Not a single one of them named Ye. Sure enough, Ye Wangxi hadn't participated in this lifetime. Maran fell silent for a moment. He thought back to that day at the restaurant when Ye Wangxi had said to Nan Gongsi, "You come back, I'll leave." He suddenly felt a little uneasy and a little pained. It couldn't be, right? Had Ye Wangxi actually left Rufeng Sect? In the past life, right before his end, Ye Wangxi had said to the executioner that he wanted to be buried at Rufeng Sect's Tomb of Heroes, next to Nan Gongsi's grave. Maran sighed at the recollection. How had things ended up like this? The slight changes, drop after drop, had built up into growing ripples. The world had turned so much on its head that what should have been ocean had become land. So it was that the turn of events could be violent as a raging storm, that a change of heart, a recantation of past hatred, could only be bought with hot blood spilt and bitter tears shed, as it had with Chuaning and himself. But the turn of events could also be a breathless silence, as it had with Ye Wangxi and Nan Gongsi. Maybe it had been only that one day at the inn when Nan Gongsi had allowed Ye Wangxi's group to stay the night. Maybe Nan Gongsi had gotten thirsty late at night and gone downstairs for some tea, and just so happened to run into a pitiful Song Chutong. Maybe Song Chutong had poured him a cup of water, or maybe she had tripped when going up the stairs due to the injury on her leg. There was no way to know. It could even have been that he had just been too boorish when drinking the water and gotten some on the wide collars of his robes, and she had gingerly offered him a handkerchief. With nothing between them at that time, Nan Gongsi had probably just uttered a simple thanks. But none of them could have known, as the northern dippers swept across the night sky and the stars of Shen and Shang rose and sank, never to meet, that their lives had been irreversibly changed because of that handkerchief, that cup of water, that uttered thanks. None of them had heard the rumble of fate. Nan Gongsi yawned as he walked up the stairs. Song Chutong stood there, watching him go. And Ye Wangxi in his room lit a candle to continue reading an unfinished book. In the past life, Maran had fancied himself all-powerful and all-knowing, had thought he'd seen through life itself. Only now did he finally realize that they were, all of them, only duckweeds adrift in this world, scattered about by rain and wind both, little green wisps of souls that could be so easily crushed by a stray-tossed pebble. He had been so very lucky to have drifted away, yet somehow returned to Chuaning's side, to still be able to do his filial duty for his Shizun, to still be able to say to Chuaning, "Sorry I let you down." Finishing his tea, he bid the others farewell. The wind had picked up outside, with rain soon to follow. Moran put on his cape and walked into the depths of the thick forest. His silhouette grew more and more distant, more and more faint, until it was no more than a small dot in the twilight, like a drop of ink spreading out in a pool of water, thinning out and disappearing. You know what? If Ye Wangxi really did leave Rufeng's sect, good for him! Good for him! You know what? Join Sixiong Peak. Sixiong Peak is so much better. Everyone will definitely welcome you there. You'll have friends like Moran and Xuemeng who will respect you and will not treat you like dirt under their shoe. Forget Nan Gongsa. He ain't that much of a stud anyway. Forget it. He's so stubborn. He's just a young master. There are so many other young masters in other places of the world. Forget Nan Gongsa. Join Sixiong Peak. Become a Sixiong Peak disciple. Why don't you study under Shizun? I think he would be willing to accept another disciple like you. Poor Ye Wangxi. Okay, sorry guys. Rumble. Lightning flashed in the horizon as thunder cracked through the darkened skies, and the rain came down in torrential downpour. It's raining. Someone peeked out from the tea house to look, only to draw back inside at the intensity of the thunder. That sure is a thunderstorm. Damn, I laid millet out to dry in the sun. It's gonna get all soaked now. Oh well, hey boss lady, can we get another pot of tea here? Might as well wait for it to clear up before heading home. Moran walked briskly through the rain, ran through the rain, fled through the rain, hid in the rain from the 32 nonsensical years of his past life. He didn't know if the torrential rain could wash away his sins. Chuaning had forgiven him, but he had not forgiven himself. His heart felt heavy, so heavy that he might suffocate from it. He wanted to use the rest of his life to do good, to make amends. But could the downpour and the rest of his life truly wash away the evil in his bones, the filth in his blood? He wished only that this rain could fall for 5 years straight. He wished only that, when Chuaning awakened, he would be able to stand before his Shizun a little cleaner, and then cleaner still. He didn't want to still be this dirty when the time came, dirty like mud, like dust, like the grime on the bottom of a porter's shoes, dirt under a beggar's nails. He wished only that, before Chuaning awakened, he could be a little better, and then better still. Only then could the worst disciple in the world maybe summon up the feeble courage to call out to the best Shizun in the world. That night, Moran fell sick. He had always been healthy and strong, but someone like this, if they were to get sick, would get terribly, horribly sick. He lay in bed, sleeping bundled beneath a thick quilt. He dreamt of things from his past life, dreamt of how he had tormented Chuaning before, dreamt of Chuaning struggling beneath himself, of Chuaning dying in his arms. Waking with a start to the howling wind and cold rain outside, he felt around for the flint to light the candle, but no matter how many times he tried, the flint wouldn't spark. He threw the flint and steel aside in a fit of frustration. He buried his face in his hands, rubbing forcefully, pulled harshly at his own hair, the jet of his throat moving as he let out a grief-stricken howl like that of a pained beast. He had escaped death, escaped blame, but in the end couldn't escape his own conscience. It was scary, being unable to even tell dreams from reality sometimes, continuously having to check whether he was asleep or awake. It hurt, feeling like his very soul had split into two, that of the past lifetime and that of the current lifetime, the two souls tearing into one another, one cursing the other for being a ruthless lunatic with hands covered in blood, the other snapping back just as fiercely, demanding to know why the former was going about like he hadn't done anything wrong. How did he even have the nerve to walk this earth? The soul of the present bellowed at the soul of the past. Mo Wei Yu, Ta Xianjun, you scum of the earth, why did you commit such sins? How am I supposed to make up for all that you've done? I want to start over, but why must you haunt me so? In my dreams, in my drunken stupors, in the dimming light of fading candles, jumping out when I least expect it to curse me with that twisted face of yours, cursing me with 1,000 deaths, cursing me with retribution and comeuppance. You say that this is all just a dream that will one day shatter. You sneer that sooner or later I will wake up to find myself back at Wushan Palace. You laugh viciously while reminding me that no one cares about me, that I had already killed the only person willing to die for me with my own hands. But was that me? No, it wasn't me. It was you, Ta Xianjun. It was you, Mo Wei Yu. I'm not you. I'm not you. There's no blood on my hands. I I can start over. The other half of the soul was shrieking as well, a sharp-fanged mouth wide open on a twisted face. Weren't you feeling guilty? Didn't you F it all up? Then why don't you go die? Why don't you pay recompense to all those people you hurt in the past life for no goddamn reason with your own blood? You beast? You pretender? How are you any different from me? You are Moe Yu, just the same as me. You bear all the memories of the past and all the sins of the past. You'll never be free of me. I'm your nightmare, your inner demon. I'm that abominable soul of yours that will one day be judged by the heavens. Start over? Why the hell should you get to? The nerve of you! What right do you have to start over? You're just tricking everyone. You're even tricking the people who love you. All that good you're doing is just to ease that tiny, pathetic bit of guilty conscience in your heart, isn't it? Ha! Moe Yu. Do you dare to let them know just what kind of person you were in your past life? Do you dare to let Chuaning know that, in the last lifetime, it was you who cut into his neck and bled him out, made his life a living nightmare? That it was you who blighted the world, made it into a hell on earth, overrun with famines and disasters one after another? It was you. Ha ha ha, you effing beast. We are one and the same. There's no way out of this one, because I am you, Moe Yu. You know it to be true. Backed into a corner and going out of his mind, Moran felt around the bedside for the flint and steel again, tried to light up the candle to drive back the grisly darkness of night. But even the candle rejected him. Even the candle didn't care to save him. He was abandoned in the darkness, hands shaking uncontrollably as he tried over and over to strike the flint and steel, over and over, but there was no spark. There was no spark. He finally collapsed onto the bed and burst into loud sobs. He apologized over and over again. In the darkness of night, there seemed to be a crowd gathered around his bed, each and every shadowy, wavering figure cursing at him, demanding his life and vengeance, howling at him that he was once evil and would always be evil. Moran didn't know what to do. Helplessly, he muttered again and again, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! But no one paid him any mind. No one wanted to forgive him. His head was scalding hot. His heart felt like it was on fire. Suddenly, he seemed to hear a soft sigh. Opening his eyes, he saw Chuaning amidst the phantom shadows, looking just as he had. White robes draping loosely to the floor, wide sweeping sleeves, features elegant and defined. He walked over and came to a stop before the bed. Moran choked out between sobs. Shizun, is it that I have no right to see you again? Chuaning said nothing, only picked up the flint and steel and calmly lit up the candle that Moran never managed to. Where there was Shizun, there was light. Where there was Chuaning, there was a flame. He looked up evenly at Moran from where he stood by the candle holder with his long eyelashes downcast and gave him a small, serene smile. He said, Go back to sleep, Moran. See, the light is lit now. Don't be afraid. Moran's heart felt like it had been brutally crushed by something heavy, and his head hurt so bad it felt like it might split open. These words sounded so familiar, as if he had heard them before, but he couldn't remember. Chuaning brushed his sleeves aside and sat down at his bedside. The rain outside was bitterly cold, but it was warm inside the room, and the night was no longer dark. Chuaning said, I'll stay with you. His heart ached at these words, clenched and tried to twist itself into a knot. Shizun, don't leave! He clutched at Chuaning's hand under his broad sleeve. I won't. It'll be dark again if you leave. Moran was crying. Feeling embarrassed, he lifted his other hand and covered his eyes. Please don't leave me behind. I'm begging you. I really don't want to be the emperor anymore, Shizun. Please don't throw me away. Moran. Please. Maybe it was the fever making him feel all faint and dazed, or maybe it was because some part of him knew that this was only a dream, that Chuaning wouldn't be there when he wakes up. He muttered over and over again, Please don't throw me away. That night, the icy raindrops outside pelted against the window like countless vengeful ghosts come knocking, trying to get inside and claim his life in retribution. But inside Moran's dream, Chuaning lit up the light, and that small, faint light drove away the ceaseless chill. Chuaning said, All right, I won't leave. You won't leave? I won't leave. Moran opened his mouth, wanting to say thanks, but the only sound that came out was a whimper, The kind of pitiful sound a dog makes when gingerly trying to suck up to someone. That's what you all say, that you won't leave, won't abandon me. On the verge of drifting off, Moran muttered dazedly with heavy-lidded eyes. But then you all end up leaving anyway. No one wants me. I've been a stray dog for half my life. Every time someone takes me in, they'll just throw me away again in a few days' time. I'm so tired. Really, Shizun, I'm really so tired. I can't do it anymore. Can't keep going anymore. Just like a starving stray dog with no home to go back to, with mangled paws and a grimy coat of fur, with no choice but to fight over food with beggars and feral cats just to survive. There was no trust left after so long being abused. If someone were to crouch down nearby, a domestic dog might expect to be fed food, but a stray dog would only expect to be hit by rocks. Anxious and on edge, he kept walking, snarling at anyone and everyone. This was his fate. Shizun, if someday you don't want me anymore, then please just kill me. Don't throw me away. He muttered quietly between sobs. It really hurts too much to be thrown away again and again. I'd rather die. The fever burned so high that it turned him into a muddled mess, until he couldn't even tell where he was, and even forgot whom the person in his dream had been. Mom. The last time he muttered before passing out was, It's getting dark. I'm scared. I want to go home. Author's notes. The title is taken from Du Fu's An Old Friend Visits My Dreams, for he knows I think of him often. Now that you are ensnared, how can you sprout wings and wander freely? To avoid misunderstandings, I'm specifically stating the source here. Thank you, Meatbun, for letting us know the origin of the title of the chapter. Poor Moran. Okay. Okay. But before I recap chapter 123, we could just see that 124 says that Shizun awakens. So 5 years will have passed in the next chapter. So I'm really excited for that. But again, to recap chapter 123, Moran is listening to some people at an inn, and they're discussing the results of the spiritual mountain competition. And our Shui Meng Meng won first place with Shemei. Moran is surprised because in his past life, the winner of the Spiritual Mountain Competition doubles event was Nan Gongzi paired with Ye Wangxi. But apparently in this lifetime, Nan Gongzi paired up with Song Chutong instead of Ye Wangxi, and Ye Wangxi didn't even attend the competition. So Moran's like, why is so much of the past changing? What's going on? What happened to Ye Wangxi? Did he really leave Rufang sect? So he's like, is Go Chen behind this? What? Why is so much things changing? Can fate be changed that easily? Wow, I am tongue-tied today. But yeah, and then he goes home and he's just thinking about his Shizun, and it's raining and it's a thunderstorm outside, and he catches a cold, he has a fever, and so he's not feeling well. And he curls up and he starts having really bad memories and PTSD when thinking about his past life. He's like struggling with himself. He's like wondering, how could I have been the person I was? How could I have been such a terrible person? How could I have been Ta Xianjun and killed so many people and hurt so many people? And then the other part of him is also reprimanding himself and being self-deprecating, saying, well, you can't act like Ta Xianjun is someone else, because Ta Xianjun is you. You don't get the chance to just start over with a clean slate and no blood on your hands. You are Mo Wei Yu. We are both Mo Wei Yu. And Moran is really distraught, and he feels like he's gonna go crazy with grief. And in the moment that he needs him most, Chuaning shows up in his dream and lights the candle for him so that he won't be in the dark, and calms him down and tells him that he won't leave his side and he'll be there for him. And although Moran is still despondent and just crazy with grief, he's also slightly comforted by Shizun, and even begs Shizun not to abandon him. And I don't know, is it really just his dream, or did Shizun somehow manage to like get into his dream? I don't know. It's possible. Whether or not he's just a figment of Moran's imagination or not, we know that those are also Shizun's true feelings, and that Chuaning would never abandon Moran. Yeah, Moran ends up even thinking about his mom, thinking about how he just wanted a normal life, to just go home and not worry about having to like fend for himself, and just You know, like, I just feel so bad for Murad right now. But yeah, so it's the end of the chapter was really sad, really depressing. But to cheer you guys up, as you can see in the next title of the next chapter, which we'll read next time, Shizun wakes up from his 5-month not 5-year seclusion. So I can't wait to see how he reacts to waking up after being gone for 5 years. Everyone has grown up immensely. I bet he's gonna be really proud of Xuemeng. I bet Shinmei's gonna have improved as well. And Moran has turned more into a man. I bet Shizun's gonna be like, you're taller than me now. How did this happen? Who are you? Where did my husky disciple go? And we know that Moran would be super ecstatic to come back and find out that Shizun is awake. So that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's read-along, and please do look forward to the next chapter when Shizun wakes up. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!